So now there is a concept called brain drain. We're going to start with the current affairs.
Okay.
Uh, Yesterday, if you see the news, Trump said, so whoever there in the top positions of IT companies, they has to be replaced with Americans.
But you have to look at his difficult situation.
Okay.
He called all the technical companies head. There are, I think, 26 people were called. 22 came. So out of 22, 16 were from India.
Okay.
So when he saw 16 Indians, then he could not tolerate that. Then he told, okay, you call the next highest American possible from our institute, from your institution. Then only 6 turned up. So that means there are some companies, first 3-4 levels of top management is only Indians. So then Trump had no other way, but he put up his frustration saying that now we have to stop taking Indians.
Why I ask this question is like there is a concept called brain drain nowadays. A lot of people wanted to move out of the country because we have so many good organizations in India itself who are working for India. So that is ISRO, DRDO, NAL, HAL, IPR. So many organizations like this which they are really doing wonders in science and technology field. But still people wanted to move out of India. So why this is happening, especially people of our generation?
See, in India, even if you have a talent, there is no guarantee that you will get a job, because there are many other factors comes in to decide a job for a person. For example, in our institute, when we call for some scientist positions like scientist C, in our institute the entry level is around level 10 of 7th pay commission.
Okay.
We call scientific officer C or engineer C. So, but when we advertise for 2 engineer positions, we used to get something around 60,000, 70,000 numbers.
Okay.
Now, how will you filter it out? It's very difficult.
Okay.
So, what we do, we use gate as a score, right? And then depending upon the gate score, we'll take down to first 100 or 200. Then within that, we will use 20% of their mark also in their thing. But that mark will not be same for different. Will be different for different universities. Then we have to fix a different number for different regions. Then you select. So in that way, most of the good people will certainly feel that this is very uncertain. So what do? If they go to do a MS in US and then they get a placement, then once your talent is identified in US, you will certainly grow. Okay, that's the difference between Indian and US environment. Yeah.
So you are one among the 100 people who have learned Java in India, okay, from Sun Microsystem. You had got an opportunity because you are not only a scientist, you are also an academician.
Yeah.
So like when you moved to, you had moved to Germany also, you could have easily settled over there. So why did you came back to India?
So I had actually when I was completing my PhD. So at that time, before completing PhD, I was doubt whether I could complete or not. So I thought I will learn Java because there was a lot of huge people are going towards a Y2K problem. So I also learned Java because I had an opportunity to learn from Sun Microsystem workstation directly. So then we passed through the exam. Then I was working as a part-time teacher in a Net Vision Web Technologies company. So they offered me a job at that time. Okay, you can stay back. But initially they were not giving much salary, but the moment they realized I have an offer from Germany as a postdoc, they told they have to increase, so they give a bigger money also. But still, due to my thinking that I have to go in academics, I went to Germany. I went to Germany as a postdoc only, but then later things changed.
Sir, how Germany's education system is entirely different from Indian education system? Is there any differences between German education system and Indian education system? And followed up question is, do you had some good experiences in Germany when you were an academician over there?
See, I am not that much big shot to differentiate between German and Indian education system, but there was one thing which attracted me was very good. So I will tell my own experience, then I will tell why it is important. So after 6 months of my postdoc, I asked to be evaluated. And then if my evaluation is good, I can get a tenure track position in the institute. I was working for Max Planck Institute for Plasma Physics in Garking, which is very close to Munich. So I was told to go and take a class for a diploma students. And the topic was given one day before, that was Rutherford scattering experiment. So I read about 3-4 modern physics book. all foreign authors. Then I went there and I spoke for 45 minutes and I explained the full experiment. But I have to use some Deutsch words in between because those people who understand better the Deutsch language, not
That's a
the
local language.
German language. That's German language. So I could explain to some extent. Then my class was over. Then I told you can ask questions. Then that coordinator came to me and told, no, these questions they will give in writing to you. You please find answers tomorrow. So then I thought there are almost 17, 18 students. I would get something around 3 or 4 questions. But I got more than 100 questions.
Oh.
From each one I was writing different questions, and then I got all the papers after half an hour. Please remember, within half an hour we have generated 100 questions from a simple topic of Rutherford scattering experiment. So then I asked, what is this? Why this many questions? Then that coordinator, he is actually a professor.
Okay.
A professor of that university from where they came. They told these questions will be used to evaluate the students also.
Oh, approach life in reverse way.
Exactly. So then that was shocking to me. That means it's a very serious thing. Then I thought, should I answer? It will, by the answer you will be evaluated. By the questions the students will be evaluated. So then I spent 3 nights to prepare answers for all the questions. So there are many questions which is very thought provoking. Because one of the questions was, why did Rutherford use gold as a material to impinge? So in India, in all the textbooks written, it is gold is the most malleable and ductile material, so we are using it. But the real answer is, at that time, the only purest form of material available is gold. That is one of the reasons he used, because he doesn't want any impurity to be there in the target. That I learned there only. But after going through a lot of German and other language things also. So then you can understand that how difficult is to find questions and answers. So I believe that way of generating questions, for now they have generated 100 questions. Now probably next year some other person will take that course. To him they will give all these 100 questions and answers. But still then the kids will come, the new kids will come, they will read through this. Now they will generate new questions on the same topic.
Okay.
So that means the way the questions and answers are being piled up, it gives a deep knowledge to anybody. I believe that kind of education is a very good way to...
Okay. It creates curiosity.
Exactly.
Curiosity is the mother of all inventions.
Exactly.
So that's the reason maybe Germans are good at inventions.
Yeah, the problem is now the kids are not afraid to ask questions.
True.
And they have been told very clearly that if there is no negative marking in that. So they are very good at it, yeah.
Sir, what is plasma for a layman? Because if I don't know anything about plasma, so how will you going to explain for a layman this is what the plasma is all about?
See, the difficult part of explaining plasma is the one which I have been facing from 2007. Okay. In 2007, India joined an international project called ITER. So then our boss told you please go and give a talk at different institutions like IITs and big universities, central universities at that time. And he explained to them. So the moment we tell plasma, the first question they ask is plasma. So then we used to give a textbook definition to them and none of them understood. So then during my course of giving many talks, I realized that the explanation for plasma is not a straightforward one. So depending upon the audience, the things will change. So the simple explanation is that we all know that matter is there in 3 states like solid, liquid and gas. But for example, we get liquid from a solid by heating the solid. So if you heat a liquid, you will get a gas. If you heat a gas to a very high temperature, you will get a plasma. So in plasma, what happens is that some of the atoms which are supposed to be neutral, they get ionized. So one electron is out of the thing, so there must be a bunch of electrons, then there are some ions, then the remaining will be neutral. This is called plasma. Why it is? Because this behavior of this one is much different from a neutral gas. And any disturbance you give from one side, it will be told to all points of that existence very fast compared to a normal gas. That's and not only that, this plasma can be controlled by magnetic field and electric field.
Like plasma is always be in the news because if you see on reading the newspaper or somewhere else, because of tokamak.
Yeah.
Because ITER, we call it as
Yes.
7 nations, if I'm not wrong. Right,
Yes,
sir? 7
correct.
nations.
Yes, yes.
All got hegemony, US got hegemony on Russia,
Yes.
Russia got hegemony on European Union. So then we got hegemony on China. But all these nations come together and they wanted to develop something related to energy, where this electricity what we are using will be provided at a very
Low cost, yeah.
and it will be sustainable and green energy what we call.
The-
So how it can be made? Whether it will be made in our generation only, or is it for future generation?
No, I think before going into the detail, I want to point out one important issue. The Americans never accepted Russian as a competitor to them. They always think that they are ahead of.
Oh, is it?
But to my knowledge, there are two places where Americans have acknowledged the Russians are ahead of US. One is there is something called a thruster. There is when you launch a rocket and a satellite, when the satellite to put into position, you will put some thrusters. In the thruster research, even today Russians are ahead of America. Even America is buying some of the thrusters from Russia even today. And then the second one is that after the hydrogen bomb was produced by US, they thought, how can we use this bomb energy as a controlled manner to produce electricity? So they thought, they went into a kind of magnetic confinement to confine the plasma to very high temperature. But they were not able to go beyond some temperature, because you need to get a very high temperature to make the fusion to happen. So that was not possible for them. But Russian went ahead. Their temperature was very high when they realized. So then Americans acknowledged Russian progress. They took the word tokamak from Russian thing, because tokamak is a Russian word. It's an acronym of a Russian word, toroidal naya chamber in a magnetic field. That's a kind of statement. It's a Russian word, but Americans accepted that, okay, it is a Russian discovery, let us accept it.
Because even I was wondered, there is no word in English tokamak, why they have kept this name?
It's an acronym. It's a Russian. It's like toroidal chamber in a magnetic field. That's a meaning. It's a toroidal camber in a toroidal naya, camber naya in a magnet naya. That's a state. That's a one statement. But interestingly, now Americans use tokamak word even in their daily life, and they got a lot of, after that they also built a lot of tokamaks to do a research on that. But now it has come to a place where it is going to make a break open. That means now after that the fusion energy will be available to grids. But the Americans know that they have just discovered the shell, not just, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
So then now they have to sell their shell gas, because they already put so much investment into it.
This question, follow-up question, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
They already have so much of shell gas. Why still they are buying from Middle East so much of fossil fuels and all those things?
They want to make sure that they will use out all the energy, fossil energy in here. Then they will sell their own at a higher cost. Okay. That's really a political
Geopolitics.
No, actually it is a very smart politics too. But they can do it. Not every country can afford that. But there's to point out this one more nice Arabian saying. That in Arabian there is a saying that my grandfather rode a camel and my father rode a BMW. I am now flying in an aeroplane, but my son will come back to camel. So that means what exactly they meant was that in some time the fossil fuel will go away.
Yeah.
So Americans know about that. That's why they are playing. But now what happened is that now this, to prove that the fusion is possible, you need at today's date we need a high cost. For example, the budget for ITER project is something around $15 billion. So no country can afford to prove something $15 billion. So initially only America and US and Russia came together to create one, but then they were not clear, doubtful. They wanted a third person. They invited Canada, then they invited European Union and Japan. Then later India, China and Korea also joined. So now there are 7 teams. So these 7 are creating that big project called ITER in a place called Cadarache in South France.
Okay.
And now it is almost on a completing stage. It will be operational from 2036. But 2039 is the time which the real output is going to come. So yeah, the thing. But these countries, European Union is going to give 45% of the total cost, but not in money. They'll all give in only in kind, like a power supply or a resources. Yeah, they won't give money, and the remaining.
So, like, what is India's contribution to it?
I'm coming to that. So 45% is European Union because it is built in Europe.
Yeah.
The remaining 55 is shared by 6 people, like Russia, US, Korea, China, India, and Russia,
Japan.
US, Japan, US, Russia, China, Korea, India. These 6 people share. So with this almost close to 10% of the thing. So India is giving 10% in kind, which is made from Indian industry. Like there's a big refrigerator thing called cryostat, and it's like a 30-meter height and 30-meter diameter, such a big thing. Our L&T Hazira has produced, and it's already sent to the site. It was made in India to France. It was went by ship, and there are very big items which a normal truck cannot take it to the site from their port. So French people reserved a particular day on which only this vehicle will go, no other vehicle will go through that road. Such a kind of thing. But one good point is that even, as you told very clearly, with a lot of hegemony, all these countries are working together.
Yes, sir.
So with a lot of difference within them, but this project is still going well. So hopefully by 2039 we got something. But the important point is that India is contributing 10%. The remaining 90% is, the 90% technology is going to come in the form of a report to us.
Okay.
Now India has to rebuild that in India.
Oh.
And that is going to be biggest challenge for us. That's one of the reasons we are doing all these outreach things.
A kind of technology transfer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now we want people to work.
Oh.
And now very few people work on this kind of technologies.
Yeah.
Now we want more people into this thing. That's why we are doing this outreach and telling tokamak, the way to be told.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, if you take scientist category, we have A to H. We have outstanding scientist and distinguished scientist.
Yeah.
Now, for a candidate like us who wanted to enter into a scientist field, okay, how to enter into a scientist field, and like how the rankings will be given?
Okay, sir. To enter our institute, the entry level degree required is that for officer level. There are some assistants also. I'm talking about officer level. Is level 10 of 7th Pay Commission.
Okay.
The basic qualification needed is a BTech degree or a MSc degree if it's from science.
Okay.
What we need is basically a 4-year degree is what needed. And then we take people accordingly. Then we will train them for 1 year. Then we observe them. So they enter as 10, then in level 10, that is scientific officer C. Then you have a D, E, F, every 4 years, and then 5 years you get a promotion.
Okay.
Then you have a D, E, F, G, H, all will go like every 5 years. Then after H, we have a outstanding scientist and distinguished scientist. But when somebody reaches distinguished scientist, he will almost be 55. So he'll be mostly made as a director.
Super. But like people from tier 2 or tier 3 cities can enter into organizations.
For example, I am from Tirunelveli. After Tirunelveli, I directly landed in Ahmedabad.
Okay.
I didn't go to Chennai or Bangalore.
Okay. Super, sir. Now, like there are so many applications of plasma. I will gonna list out few sectors.
Yeah.
So if you can brief out like how this has been used in that particular field.
Okay.
Textile, sir.
In textile, there are 2 ways. One is I will tell that there is an wool called Angora wool.
Okay.
Angora is the name of a rabbit which is available in Himalayan mountains. And their skin can be used to produce sweaters, woolen clothes. But the problem is, from their hair, what they take, it is not easy to make a cloth. You cannot make a cloth out of it because that wire is very slippery.
True.
So what we did was we made an argon plasma discharge system in which this wool are put and there is a plasma is impinged on them. Then these threads become slightly weavable.
Thick.
Then after that, no, not thick. We make some holes on that, make a roughness on that.
Okay.
Then they are weavable. The cloth can be made.
Okay.
So if you go to now Siachen or any other place of very cold places, now you will see a lot of the soldiers wearing an Angora wool sweater.
Okay.
And that is made from, and that Angora wool is made because of our technology.
Okay.
So that is there are many other applications. For example, if you have a full cloth made of some dye, and if you want to make some design by fading the dye, you can use plasma to fade them. You could have seen that one of the model we kept in our exhibition explains that.
True.
So in textile we have, in some other places the cloth is made, but there are some dyes which will not stick to them.
Okay.
Because there is something called they have a phobia to stick it, that the dye won't stick it. Then if you treat with the plasma, the dye will stick to it. That is also possible.
No. Recently, I was reading in the newspaper like some scientists of Jammu, they have found that like bulletproof T-shirts, and some people will gonna say that like for people who are working in army, for them like easily their dress will gonna get dirt. So that's the reason like they are going for this graphene technology, where if they just do like this, like all the dust will gonna go off.
Yeah.
So is this kind of things possible through plasma?
I have not heard about this kind, but what I know is that there are some coating which many of my colleagues do, like a nanoparticle coating, by which the dust which is sitting on that will be removed. That means it won't stick to it.
Okay.
If a dust particle sit on a material, then there is a small kind of van der Waals force between this and that one.
Okay.
But if you make the surface such that no free electrons is available, the dust will never sit.
Okay.
That is possible. It can be made.
Okay,
But by making a nanoparticle coating on any cloth.
Okay. Next, coming to agriculture, sir, because plasma has wide range of application on agriculture.
That's true.
So if you can list out few application parts of agriculture.
Yeah. So there are many directions in agriculture also it's working. One of the main was that yearly germination of seeds.
Okay.
For example, if you take that Simla mirch, that's a big mirch which it takes almost 15 to 20 days for the first stem to come out.
Okay.
That we call a germination. Even whatever amount of water you put, water with the soil. But what do? If we take that seeds and impinge on a plasma, then the plasma will make small holes without actually burning it out.
Okay.
So then these seeds, if you put it, they germinate in 2-3 days.
Oh.
That means 15 days of water what you are giving has been saved. Not only that, now the crop will grow better.
Oh.
And in many places when they put the seed in different things, but because it's a very non-linear way of distribution of seeds, some of them because the resources, mineral resources for this plant is limited. And there are some places huge crowd is there and some places very sparingly done. But when you put this kind of seeds, it will grow everywhere in a uniform way. But this has been tested by GP Pant University and in Gandhinagar in UP, and it has been tested by even Anand Agricultural College, Agricultural University. But now there are a lot of, because once we have told them this is possible, now they are testing with each and every seed and it's working out.
Oh, super. Coming to the medicine, sir.
Medicine now, see, of course there are, that's one interesting thing which I want to tell. It's a very interesting thing. For example, there are some protein, this is mostly for a medicine for the brain.
Okay.
Our brain is trained such that it won't accept any medicine so easily.
True.
Because most of the medicine will come in a form of proteins.
True.
And this protein is a long chain.
Yeah.
And when you make that chain in the earth gravitational field, there is a small amount of center of gravity shifting depending upon the things. So our brain identifies this kind of molecular chain very well, and it won't accept it. They think that medicine is a foreign medicine. It won't accept to our body. To cheat that, what do? Nowadays people make this protein, they take the protein sources to a zero gravity like a space station. Then they make that protein there.
Okay.
Because there is no gravity there, the protein chain is made in a different direction. Now the same medicine, only the structure is changed.
Okay.
Now if you give that zero gravity made medicine to the brain accepts it.
Oh.
So now this is being tested in the rats, where they have a brain tumor is getting cured.
Oh.
That's the next level of medicine which is going to come.
Okay.
And apart from that, the plasma can be used for skin treatment in many ways.
Okay. And like cancer is a big
Yes, exactly. Yeah, actually we first went to a proposal to cure the cancer, but then we realized that it can be used for many other skin problems like a fungal infection or even a dental infection. But in big cities, if you go to a dental implant, you will see that they will be using plasma to disinfect the surface. Because when they use chemical, it will affect some of the gums. Okay. But if you use plasma, the gums is intact, only the fungal or bacteria and viruses are killed.
Okay. Sir, like about quantum?
Yeah, that's the next big thing for quantum computing. And now you can use a small plasma confined in a magnetic can be used to work as a quantum computing system. Now that research is on. I also don't know much detail about that, but I know that there are some experiments going in our institute also regarding quantum computing.
Because like most of the artificial intelligence has been linked to this quantum technology.
Yes, yeah.
So if you are pioneer in quantum technology, definitely it will go.
Yeah, it's going to come. I'm sure that it will come up very fast.
Maybe chips, all those things, maybe also.
No, this is, you see, now remember, quantum computing need not be cheap. It be a small plasma confined in a magnetic field. That will do the computation for you.
Oh, super. Okay. Nice, sir. Like we came to know that like plasma is in almost all the things,
Yes.
like in almost all the sector.
Yeah.
Now, we have so much of application part of it, but still we couldn't reach out to the rural students, all these things. What may be the reason? Because see, like unless you come to the campus, we have not explored much about the plasma. Only when you start explaining, so these are the things, okay, these are the application part, then only most people will come to know that, okay, plasma is something wonder, okay. So this is what we have in our generation. So like how to make these things reach out to the rural background people?
So now that is what we have been trying. But before coming to this meeting, I had a discussion in the WhatsApp. We have a society called Plasma Science Society of India, PSSI. I am an executive member in that. Now we had a discussion. The discussion is that now the new UGC syllabus has come, in which they have put a small amount of plasma rather than what we expected more. So now we got to present to the UGC chairman better thing. Okay, I will tell you what is the problem. As I told you, if you heat a solid to higher temperature, you get a liquid. If you take a liquid to a higher temperature, you get a gas. If you heat a gas to a very high temperature, you will get a plasma. As I told you, for example, if you take water as a thing, water is ice, then water vapor, then you can make a water or H2O gas, or H2O plasma can be made out of it. But from water vapor to H2O plasma, you have to heat to a temperature of 10,000 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
Now, so will it be a plasma at 8,000 degrees centigrade or 7,000 degrees? We don't know. That depends on how much of volume using. There are many other things coming in. Now, how will you measure 10,000 degree? We don't have a thermometer to measure it.
True.
So, how will you teach a school kid to measure a 10,000 degrees centigrade without touching it? That is actually a challenge. So, that temperature part is a challenge. That's one of the reasons in our, for example, in the exhibition we have put something around 5 to 6 where we are actually producing plasma in a slightly vacuum environment. That means we are producing with a small amount of plasma, very few. Even though it is having 10,000 degrees centigrade, but it won't burn out anything around it because the volume, the mass content, the energy content that is very, very small. So now how to explain this to a school kid? And if, for example, we are using 15,000 volt in each of these systems. Now, can we allow a 15,000 volt to be handled by a school teacher? That means that he needs a separate training. Okay. That is a process. Now, when we are thinking about it, because plasma is the first physics came out, because the E/M ratio which J.J. Thomson made, he is actually made in a discharge tube. So that means plasma was the first physics actually came, branch of physics first came, but somehow it didn't take up in school kids. It is there always there in the research area. We are planning to introduce plasma to school kids very fast. Yeah.
Super. Thank you, sir. People like you coming to the rural background and helping out the people. So this is what the real patriotism is all about. Thank you for helping out the students. And like my next question is coming to the personal life. Like we always see in the TVs, like a scientist is one who have a big beard, okay, and like will be in the lab all the time. So like you people will gonna have a normal like us, because most of the people will gonna shift into the corporate sector. The reason is they can do barbecue parties, Sajanas parties, sit out for dinner, these kind of things. Like can a scientist can enjoy such a lavish life?
Yes, that is true, sir. Now, to be frank, now I am. Today I got my salary credited. I have got 2.3 lakhs as my salary.
Okay.
And after all the deductions of income tax, everything.
Okay.
And I don't think 2.3 lakhs is a small amount for any person. I am 54 years old.
Yeah.
You can understand that. Of course, there are many people who are getting more salary than me, even at the same level because of their experience. Because I was a student, then I was going to Java, then I came late into the field.
Yeah.
So we also, for example, we work only 5 days in a week. We don't work for other thing. If you are planning an experiment to continuously run for 21 days, in those 21 days, we will be like working 10 to 14 hours every day. But once the experiment is over, then we will take a compensating holidays and enjoy. And we also have a party and we also go around.
Okay.
And now, to be frank, I have seen all the 7 continents in the world.
Oh, super.
And without using my father's money. So that means the money which, it's not that I spend my own money. This money is because of the field where I am working, everybody has paid for it.
Okay.
So it's possible.
ಓಕೆ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸೇ ಅಡಿಯಿಂದ ಮುಡಿವರೆಗೂ ನಾನೇ ದುಡ್ದಿರೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಸರ್, ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಹೌ ಯುವರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋನಾ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಯು? ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ನಟ್ಶಲ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ roaming here and there, like enriching the students with their knowledge. How your family will gonna cope up with this?
See, now please remember that I am the head of the outreach division from our institute. So we have we have work to do that we will go to rural areas and to explain them what is a plasma. So what we have done is that every 15 days in a month we will be out of the city. But please remember, when we go to a place, we look for a school students. And you know that in April, May, June, no school will be opening. So in those places we don't go. And during exam time we won't go because these students will come. That means it boils down to 4 to 5 months in a year only. So in that period, for example, this June, July, August, September, October, these 4 months we will go around. And in between we have festivals. We know that festivals, most of the schools will be closed.
Okay.
So we arrange, we adjust ourselves that in these 5 months we'll try to sit one north and one east and one south and one west program is done.
Okay.
So that we cover. Now before me, Dr. Ravi Kumar was there, and he established this outreach division.
Okay.
And he has already touched all the corners. So now what are the places that now, that's what I'm told you, we are looking for tier 2 cities. The tier 1 cities are over already.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll repeat the tier 1 city because we are also updating our experiments or our exhibits. So after 3-4 years we'll go to tier 1 cities also again.
Okay.
So but it's okay. The family only the 4 months they'll get affected. But in these 4 months my daughter is also very busy going to college or school. So and I take my wife with me for some time. Okay. So whenever it's affordable.
A kind of outing for family.
Yes, exactly.
So like what is that one proud moment you have, aha moment? Okay, so this is what, okay, I have achieved something in my life.
There are 2 things which I want to mention that at some point of time I went to my wife and told whether you want a 2.5 lakh salary or to go to Germany. She told, what is that? And then I didn't tell her what is the detail about it, because that Java guy has, because of my Java knowledge, they were giving me 2.5 lakhs in 2001. And the other one is to go to Germany. But I asked my wife, she simply told we'll go to Germany. Then we decided, okay, we'll go. It's not that we thought through it. She just wanted to see, we went outside. Then after going to Germany, I realized that I took a nice decision, because had I stayed in India at that time, I would not have I could not have traveled that much.
Yeah.
So today, because academics, because in academics you have a conference.
Yeah.
So I went, even within 4 years of Europe, my stay in Europe, I visited almost all the countries in Europe.
Shanghai visa.
Yeah. Because you have a residence permit of Germany, then it is applicable everywhere.
Yeah.
So in that period, I visited Russia also.
Oh.
So that was one good point.
Okay.
It's like having 2 in your hand and decide, and by using a third party, that was one moment. Even my wife today remembers that very well.
Okay.
That was exactly on February 10th, 2001.
Okay.
I remember the date also very well.
Okay, super.
And the other moment was when I was working as a postdoc and I about to get a tenure track position in Max Planck Institute. And I told you that we have to take a class. So, and after the evaluation is over, the coordinator will announce a mark for teacher also.
Okay.
Because that will decide whether I will get my job or not.
Oh.
So they gave me 83% at that time.
Okay, super.
So 83% was like, I didn't dream about, because 60 is the minimum amount necessary, but I got 83%.
Super.
So they immediately gave me that. That was, I can also do. That means you can communicate to a person. Science, that's one of the good point about science. You can communicate by knowing little bit also. You don't need to have full knowledge.
Language is not a barrier.
Yes, language is not a barrier. Only what you need is your basic understanding and the confidence.
Okay.
Nothing more than that.
Thank you, sir, to be in our campus and conducting such a huge and wonderful program in our Tumakuru city. So we are happy to host you again and again in our campus. So thank you for giving such a valuable time for us. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.